I believe in you, and I know that this year, if you really lock in and if you really decide who you want to be and take those steps, you will become the best version of yourself this year. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Latoya, it's nice to meet you, and High Heels and Hustle is the internet home for women who are interested in personal development, self-discovery, and creating multiple streams of online income. So if that sounds like your thing, hit the subscribe button below and come and join our growing family. Now in today's video, I will be giving you 5 tips plus a bonus tip as well of things you can do to make sure you are a better version of yourself in this season than you were in the last season. Because I truly believe sometimes all we need to do is take those seemingly small steps to becoming better versions of ourselves. And before we know it, we'll look back and realize, wow, I have grown in this area. The things I thought I couldn't do, I've been able to do. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you be accountable, and I am here to help you take those steps and become your best self. Stay tuned. The first thing is to let go of the past. And I know the last few years have been crazy. Some horrendous and devastating things have happened. And also some good things have happened, but we can't afford to hold on to those things, particularly the negative things. The way I like to think of it is holding on to the past is like trying to walk with weights on your feet. Now, I've recently signed up for the gym and I have a personal trainer. And I'm telling you, when we get to using those weights, everything is so much more difficult. She could ask me to walk from one side of the room to the other and I can walk, but when she gives me those weights to carry, I can still walk from one side of the room to the other, but it's so much more difficult and it takes a lot longer to get to the other side. That's how I think of holding on to the past and holding on to unforgiveness. All of those negative types of feelings, that's what they do. They literally weigh us down. So I want you to go into this new year or this new season of your life shedding all of those things, shedding all of those weights. Allow yourself to be free so that you can move forward and so that you can have an amazing future. The second thing is decide who you want to be, and that will tell you what you need to do. So often we look at what do we need to do, what are our goals, what are the steps that we need to take, and I'm an advocate for that. I do believe in goal setting. I do believe in taking intentional steps towards achieving those goals. But I think so often we get caught up in setting goals and creating vision boards, and all of those things are great, don't get me wrong. But I think there's something really powerful about deciding who you want to be and then allowing your goals to align with that version of yourself. Because the truth is, we can achieve goals this year, but never actually grow and become the best version of ourselves. And as you know, on this channel, we're all about self-discovery, personal development, and becoming the best versions of ourselves. So my advice to you would be decide who you want to be. And just as an example, you may have been through something really traumatic in your life, and you're now at a place where you're ready to heal, you're ready to become whole, and you want to become the best version of yourself this year. So now that you know that that's who you want to be, you'll be able to take the necessary steps, and that may look like going to therapy, going to counseling, that may look like having some very honest and perhaps difficult conversations with people. But whatever that looks like, the steps that you need to take will become so much clearer once you've decided who you want to be. The next thing is to find something positive in each day, and I do mean every single day. And I do know that sometimes this can be difficult if you're in a place where you're feeling really low, you're feeling depressed, you can't see the positives around you. Sometimes we have to speak things until we actually believe them. So just finding one positive thing a day, you'll be so surprised at what that does for your mindset. And if you are in a place where you're feeling low, you've got lots of negative energy and negative vibes around you because of how you're feeling, you'll be surprised at how just finding one positive thing in each day can help to lift your spirits, lift your mood. And what I've found as well is that finding one positive thing is a motivator for me, because then after I found one thing, I'm like, oh, well, actually there's this as well. And before you know it, you've been able to find 5, 10, maybe even 15 things that were positive about that day. And I think so often we look for the big things, you know, we look for the new car, the new job, the new house, the new partner. We look for all of these big things, and don't get me wrong, they're amazing, they're great, and they should be celebrated. But I am a big advocate for celebrating the seemingly small things. And I always say seemingly small because the truth is, what may be small to you could be life-changing to somebody else. If you were to find £5 or $5 on the floor today, to you that may not be, that may not be anything amazing. But to somebody else who at the moment can't afford to feed their children, finding that £5 or that $5 on the floor could literally change their lives and allow them to feed their children. So just find one positive thing in each new day, and I am sure that the more that you begin to do that and develop that habit, you will realize that there's so much in your life to be thankful for. And there's no time like the present, so comment below and let us know one thing that you are grateful for today. You never know who else needs the encouragement or the inspiration to find that one positive thing in their day today. Number 4 is to prioritize self-care, and we're all guilty of this. Self-care sounds amazing until it actually comes to doing it and we realize we don't really have the time that we thought we had. But I really want you in this season to prioritize self-care, and that could look like a couple of hours by yourself reading a book. One of the things I love to do is I love candles, and so often I will light candles around my home, and just the scent of those candles and the lights really does help me to relax and zone out. I can then grab a book and that's a beautiful and restful evening for me. And I think sometimes we feel guilty if we take a rest. We feel guilty that we've spent the last 2 or 3 hours doing nothing. But this is not the year where we are going to feel guilty for taking care of ourselves. This is not the year where self-care ends up on the back burner, because I have realized that if you don't look after yourself, then it's very easy to burn out. And I saw a quote recently, which I will put on the screen, but it said something like, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to take time for your illness. And that really spoke to me. And I'll be posting another video soon talking about a solo retreat that I took recently, because it was just what I needed. And so often we put other things above our own self-care, but that saying is so true. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So make sure that you're filling yourself up. We give to everybody else. What about giving back to ourselves? One of the things I see very often in coaching is that as women, we feel like taking a rest means we're slowing down. We feel like taking time out means we're losing time where we could be more productive, particularly those of us who have our own businesses. But I've realized that actually sometimes taking that rest propels you forward, because you're refreshed, you've got new ideas, you're in a great mental space, and you can be so creative and productive when you come out of that rest period. So don't be afraid to take a rest, trust me, it will do wonders for you. Okay, so we have just 2 more. So this is the 5th one, but remember I said there was a bonus tip as well. So the 5th one is give yourself grace this year. I cannot stress this enough. Give yourself grace. You will make mistakes. Let me just tell you up front, you will make mistakes. You will make the wrong decision sometimes. Your judgment will be off sometimes. It's okay. Learn the lessons that you need to learn from those seasons and keep moving forward. Give yourself grace. You're not perfect. I mean, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you're not perfect. And it's okay. I saw a quote recently that said, there is no award for the most overworked female of the year. So let me say that again. There is no award for the most overworked female of the year. Please, please do not let this be the year that you burn out. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to get back on the horse and try again. You give grace to everybody else. Why do you struggle to give grace to yourself? You deserve it just as much as they do. So in this year, give yourself grace. And if it helps you to have somebody to hold you accountable, find that accountability partner. Come back to this YouTube channel. We will hold you accountable, because this year I'm going to continue reminding you to give yourself grace. You are allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to grow. And the thing is, I think that even the mistakes that we make are all a part of the journey. Some of the most important life lessons I've learned came as a result of what I thought were mistakes, but they were lessons that I needed to learn. They were experiences that I needed to have in order to develop into a better version of myself. So this year, girl, don't even stress about it. And the bonus tip is to level up in your thinking in this season. You know, the saying is so true. If you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. And you may be watching this and thinking, well, how do I level up in my thinking? Well, one of the things you're doing now. When I started my self-discovery journey in 2019, I cannot tell you the amount of hours I spent on YouTube, on podcasts, reading blogs, just getting information from people that could help me to level up in my thinking. People whose stories inspired me, educated me, motivated me, and really pushed me to want to become that better version of myself. They gave me practical tools of how I could do that, and I hope that this YouTube channel is doing that for you. So if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below and join our family. But honestly, leveling up in your thinking will transform your whole life. Another thing that I did, which I would encourage you to do, is to get around people who are where you're trying to get to. I found that having conversations with those types of people, even if they were literally just a couple of steps ahead of where I was trying to get to, it helped me so much. And I had a conversation like that just recently with another coach. And what was so amazing is that where I'm trying to get to in my business, she's already been there. So she was able to help me. And then there was something that she's going through personally that I've already been through, and I was able to help her. The conversation was so fruitful that we both left that restaurant feeling like this was so needed. Trust me, those conversations are priceless and they really do help you to level up. So I hope this video has been useful for you, and I will catch you on the next one. But until then, just know I believe in you, and I know that this year, if you really lock in and if you really decide who you want to be and take those steps, you will become the best version of yourself this year. I'll see you soon.